Let's test the sound. See if the commentary is good. I don't know why it sounds poppy. Sounds too poppy. Let's see. So I'm gonna mute Mike. Still sounds crackly. Let me change this for a second. Alright, let's see if this worked. Hit the magic button that I usually hit. I hope that did something. Yep. Yeah, that worked. Now we're gonna have to get beat to death these enemies. I believe I got stuck on before. I'm gonna give them a shot right now.
Human blood. Whoever left these marks did so deliberately.
That they did. Wrong button. I want to hit V. Or the detective that I keep forgetting about.
He's one of them! What's he? He's a killer!
He is, eh? We walked through here last time before. Can't even go this way.
I have this thirst for blood.
Oh, they killed whoever it was. Oh no. Those are skulls. This is where we would go to save. But since I'm here, I'm going to see if we can break down anything. Really, I should just break down everything. What don't I have in this stuff? This stuff too. This stuff as well. Glass vial, we have plenty of that. Upgrade weapons. That's part of the problem. I think some of our weapons need to be upgraded too. So, see if we can upgrade this, which we can. Turn it to a level 2. Doesn't do too much. Not much of a difference, but it's the weapon I use the most right now. Damage dealt, or absorb blood points when the weapon hits. Now that I understand this, you can increase the damage dealt. I think I want to do that instead. Blood helps too. We could probably do that with another weapon. So I'll take this. That's better. Got an achievement for it. Nice. Then we can go down to the tier 2, but we don't have enough common handle parts now. Okay. Nice. Alright, what else can we have? What else can we upgrade here? We can get more of this too. Generate blood points. We have that. People have a cold. We could get more of that. Pneumonia. Oh, we need a lot for that. That's pretty. It's too much. Okay, bronchitis. Sepsis is something new. Okay. Cold seems to be the most common. But I think I'll try to upgrade that, maybe one of these weapons. We don't have enough parts. Okay. So the game did save, so that's good.
Stay alive!
So can't go that way even if we wanted to. We have to go this way, and this is where I had the trouble last time. Because I think we're gonna get attacked by 2 fellows, and they all have gargantuan health bars. So let's see what we can do. Hold on. Kinda hate that the phone doesn't have a stand anymore, so I can't really look. Alright, let's get our death. Make our death quick and painless.
Crush the leech, boys! Let's see who likes a bit of fire!
Oh, I guess this whole fight is just these. Makes sense now. So, this whole mob is come on, man.
Burn it, boys!
Why is he?
Fucking beast! Crush the leech, boys!
I need breathing room, so I'm gonna do this. To use my serum. Okay. Press T. Can't do that while being pummeled.
Burn it, boys!
Come on. Come down. Come down. Come here, buddy. Love feeding on helpless victims. Dead. We still have this douchebag to deal with. Yeah, we killed them all. proper planning. We didn't plan anything. It's just got lucky. Some sturdy blood samples. Yeah, I think we were on our way back to the hospital. Pembroke. That's what it is. Hit the wrong button. Let's see if there's something that we want. Let's go analyze this one over here. Make some more serum for this. Nice. Not gonna save just yet. Just not ready. So when you save, it moves the time forward. Yet. Now, if I wind up dying again, I hope I don't have to do what I just did. Which I shouldn't, because we are safe. Back at the hospital. Hey, oh, she's uh-oh. I saw that coming. He was good as dead anyway.
I would ask you to avert your eyes, sir. Or did you not know it was rude to stare?
I knew it.
Speak up, Dr. Reed. I like a man who speaks his mind.
Hiding your true appetites behind a facade of compassion. Bravo. Very clever indeed.
Spare me your sarcasm, Jonathan. You are but newly born in this world.
So in the end, the accusation was true, wasn't it?
The situation is somewhat awkward nonetheless. I have not been observed sustaining myself for many decades. I have to say I'm a trifle embarrassed.
Anyway, I have concluded my inquiries concerning your blackmailer.
I see. Please excuse my agitated state. Under normal circumstances, I wouldn't let anyone see me in this condition.
The case is closed, your ladyship. The person who took advantage of you has, shall we say, seen the error of her ways.
So who was it?
My lady, the blackmailer was dealt with using the utmost discretion. The culprit's identity is of no relevance.
Thank you, Jonathan. That is exactly what I needed from you. You have proven your loyalty, so, as a friend, please accept this small token of my appreciation.
Thank you, my lady.
Experience?
If you have an inclination to learn more about vampires or your current situation, I will be glad to aid you in your quest for knowledge.
And that's what we're gonna do right now. About you.
Why does Dr. Swansea allow you to feed on the patients of the hospital?
Dr. Swansea is a good and compassionate man. He is trying to find a solution for our hunger.
He knows.
Until that happens, he is clever enough to understand that I only feed upon the dying.
And no one suspected you of the murders.
As you well know, suspicion has recently fallen on me of killing for pleasure. But you have my word, Jonathan. I take no pleasure in taking a life.
What do you know about this Brotherhood of St. Paul's Stole?
Nice pacing back.
The Brotherhood is well known amongst London vampire society. As long as our kind is discreet, and as long as they do not interfere, we have come to a mutual understanding.
I know this is beyond the pale, but may I inquire your age?
Really? And I thought you were gentlemen. If you must know, I'm 27. I've been 27 for a long time now, and 27 I shall remain.
That's not the truth.
Very well. But I believe there is more to this than you are saying.
A lady has to have some secrets.
And who bestowed upon you this eternal youth?
My maker. He left this isle a long time ago.
Why did you save me in the canning factory?
I could hardly stand by and watch such a promising young blood as yourself be torn to shreds by some gutter scowl.
William Bishop wasn't the vampire that created me then.
No, Jonathan. Whatever their strength and demeanor, Scowls are the progeny of careless vampires. It cannot be the other way round.
What type of vampire is a Skull?
Not a true vampire. The deformed offspring of lesser vampires. It is a shame these creatures run wild, slaves to their baser instincts.
I've been away from London and England for 3 years. This isn't the city I remember.
Things have gone from bad to worse here, Jonathan. I've lived in this city for a long time, and I've never seen it like this.
The Spanish flu has hit London that bad.
Yes, but it's not just that. I've heard things. Things I've not heard for a very, very long time. There are whispers in the shadows. Something far worse than the Spanish flu is here in the city.
What is it you fear?
Fear has long since flown this form. But there is something malevolent circling us. I feel fear is merely waiting in the wings.
Are there many vampires here in London?
Immortals are of a rare breed, and we often tend to hide. But you may occasionally meet some of us at night.
Do you know any of them? Have you an idea of the identity of the vampire who attacked me?
You mean your maker? No, Jonathan, I have no clue. But I fear he or she is as careless as cruel. To let you discover your new condition by yourself.
What do you mean?
Every now and then, you may discover an immortal in the deep of the night. But we are a rare and reclusive breed. Our progeny is almost never accidental.
Will they all be as affable as you, my lady?
I do not see why not. But remember, even the shark smiles before he bites.
That sounds like a lesson from experience.
Vampire politics are as intricate and sometimes tedious as a game of chess in a gentleman's club. I've learned from experience it is best to decline to play.
When I awoke, changed, I was chased and attacked by vampire hunters. Prepared and well-trained.
Though I can't be certain, more than likely it was the once glorious Guard of Priwen.
Once glorious, but still dangerous.
They have seen better days, but all fanatics are dangerous. You would be wise to stay clear. They are sworn to destroy our kind.
You make them sound like some sort of cult.
More a society, and like all the best ones, a secret society. I thought them almost gone, but it seemed they have been recruiting. I've
been hearing a voice talking in my head. Is this some kind of insanity? It feels like the voice of the vampire that created me.
Hush. Tell no one this. It would be unwise to talk of such things amongst British immortals. Speak no more of your maker.
How could this cause offense?
Only the powerful immortals can mentally call to their progeny. No vampire or hunter will sleep easy, knowing that an unidentified elder is stalking the streets of London.
Excuse my forwardness, but... are you my maker?
Me? Goodness, no. Only a foolish immortal would create a progeny without taking precaution, and I'm no fool.
A vampire? Is that what I am? What we are?
Such a crude word, defined by penny dreadfuls and drunken hacks. No. You are now an Ekon, and that you shall remain.
What? Echo.
So we are Ekons. How can I identify us amongst other vampires?
How to put it? All Ekon are vampires, but all vampires are not Ekon. We are but a branch of the immortal tree.
Are you an Ekon too?
Yes, I am. We are the closest thing to what man refers to as vampires. Forget what you think you know about us.
I don't understand. Why was I created and then left for dead?
That is a question only the one who made you can answer. It's not normal practice. I doubt even if you find him, he will answer you, considering how cruelly he treated you.
So me being a vampire could have been a mistake.
I very much doubt it, Jonathan. Contrary to the legends, it is not as simple to make another vampire by just biting someone.
I'd like to avoid creating another vampire by mistake anyway. Tell me, how is it done?
The process is dangerous. It could even kill your potential progeny. If you did decide to sire an offspring, they must drink of your blood, Jonathan.
So does that mean we drink of someone's blood? Alright, that's not all I can talk about.
I bid you farewell. For now, my lady. I must quickly analyze the blood I took from Nurse Crane's patient.
You might want to get away from that body. Otherwise, you would take the blame for that. Gonna do this stuff again. There's a few.
Damn. The pain. There again.
Good evening, Mr. Elwood.
Evening, Dr. Reed.
Why do you feel responsible for the injury, Thomas? What really happened?
I wasn't disfigured by any German shells. It happened during my leave. It was an accident.
Why lie about it?
Come on. It's one thing to come back disfigured by the Germans, and it's another to get injured in an accident that could have happened to anybody.
I guess he was embarrassed.
Beauty is not everything, Mr. Elwood.
Says Mr. Pretty Face.
Tell me what really happened then.
I went with a whore in Rouen. Dead drunk I was. The hotel was a shithole. There was a fire that night.
Did you start the fire? Were you trying to avoid going back to the front? That's not uncommon, you know.
No. It's just that I was asleep when the flames reached the room. The girl was long gone. Bitch never woke me up. Left me to burn.
Why do you feel responsible for the injury, Thomas?
I wasn't disfigured, but...
Goodbye for now, Mr. Elwood.
Fear and disgust on every street corner. The daily routine.
Good evening, Miss Howcroft. How are you tonight?
I need blood, Doctor. Warm.
I have made inquiries about the men who were tracking you, Miss Howcroft.
I did not expect a mortal to have this sort of courage. Speak, Doctor. Why are they hunting me down?
No one is.
There is no hunt, and nobody is searching for you. You're no threat to this hospital, and you have my word you are perfectly safe here.
Your lies demean you, Doctor. Do you really expect me to lower my guard? I know exactly who I am, and what I am dealing with.
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark.
Street corner. The daily routine.
How long must I wait, damn it? Blaming me will not further your agenda, sir. How long's it going to take the... You always knew the words to calm the children, Ellen. As for me, what a blundering idiot.
I'm all right. Don't waste
Good evening, Dr. Strickland.
And good evening to you, Dr. Reed. Can I be of any help?
Tell me, Thoreau, what's the real cause of your dislike for Dr. Ackroyd?
He refuses to admit that your blood transfusion technique is the only way to save Mr. Fiddick. I'm convinced we must use it.
What Dr. Ackroyd really said is that you lack the skill to perform this operation efficiently. Is there anything you have to say about this?
It's a false conceit. Dr. Ackroyd secretly envies your reputation. His jealousy blinds him. I'm not the real target here.
Goodbye, Dr. Strickland. Good evening, Mr. Fiddick.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. Any...
Goodbye for now, Mr. Fiddick.
You always knew the words to calm the children, Ellen. As for me, what a blundering idiot.
I'm quite busy right now, Dr. Reed.
Thank you for your time.
another night of the glorious battalion of Pembroke.
But let's go analyze this blood.
If only I were young again. Just a dozen years or so.
Razvan Vasily was infected by Spanish flu, but also has the highly unstable blood of the Scowls. Is the London vampire epidemic transmitted through the flu? I should talk to Dr. Swansea about it.
Still not gonna go to bed. Still not ready to evolve.
Evening, Edgar. Could I get your professional opinion?
Please speak, but I have something important to tell you.
This strain of flu, it's very different from the one I saw in Europe. It's downright peculiar.
Really? What makes you say that?
I've just looked at the blood of one of our recently deceased.
I see. Do you have anything more to go on?
This disease spreads and looks like the Spanish flu, but its effects differ greatly. The London strain is different from the continental one.
This is very interesting. Did you find something else?
I have a few leads, but nothing I can share for now. I need more time and more evidence.
I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on the matter.
There's a lot we're not seeing here, but it is spreading, and quickly. If we don't act, the whole city could be lost.
But Jonathan, we've a fantastic opportunity sitting right here in front of us. A weapon of choice.
What on earth do you mean?
Why, you, my dear boy. With your expertise and your blood, we could isolate the properties that course through your veins. Think about the possibilities.
But the risk of infection using vampire blood could compound the situation.
I know, but your blood now carries remarkable regenerative properties. With our minds and your blood, there's nothing we couldn't cure.
We'll discuss this more later. Thank you for your time.
No, thank you, Jonathan. But as I said, I needed to talk to you. I have some rather bad news.
Doesn't sound good.
Yes?
I'm afraid it's your sister.
She's dead.
My sister?
She's to be buried this evening at Whitechapel Cemetery. Your mother published the obituary this morning.
I see.
I'm sorry, Jonathan. Please accept my condolences.
I need to talk to you, Edgar.
Please do so.
Do you know anything about the vampire hunters in the East End?
Without a doubt, it's the Guard of Priwen. Zealots to the last man.
They're definitely well organized and equipped.
They're extremely dangerous and not to be trifled with. To them, you're a feral beast, and I, your accomplice.
Where do they come from?
Once they shared the Brotherhood's ideology on non-intervention, but they concluded vampires were a scourge.
So you manage a hospital financed by a vampire?
Yes, Pembroke was founded by Lady Ashbury. She's also our largest donor.
A convenient yet expensive way to have a fresh supply of blood on hand, day and night, don't you think?
All vampires drink blood by nature. Me, I praise the lady's exemplary moral fiber.
If I may inquire, how did you meet her?
Well, Jonathan, she sought me out and offered me the position. It's been a very profitable partnership for both parties.
Nurse Crane will not be returning to Pembroke Hospital.
Oh, really? Did something happen? She seems such a very capable woman.
Perhaps too capable. Nurse Crane also ran an illicit dispensary in Whitechapel. I had to ask for her resignation.
I see. Well, we'll just have to manage without her assistance.
We'll talk later.
Oh my god, game crashed. Okay, I'll see you in a bit. Okay, we're back. Wasn't too bad of a restart, but give me a second.
I never thought I would have to attend my murdered sister's funeral. Mary, I can't forgive myself. I'll find the truth about what happened to us. I swear.
Safer reared in anywhere else than
We're gonna head to the docks to do this one other quest. Probably should have rested, because we might need to level up for this, but we'll see about that. We'll see. We're in a new area. Still need to make some medicine for these folks. Do that on my way back. When we get back. Okay, these are bad guys.
Watch the leech, boys!
Come on.
Shit! You'll pay for that!
Come on. What are you trying? That's that. Alright. Keep out of area. They weren't too bad. There's more of them down there. They can have that. We're getting closer. Okay, those are level 12s, 10. This looks like a dead end. Yep. Useful stuff. Yeah, we have no choice.
Best turn around if I were you.
Alright, I'll turn around. Best you do the same.
It's a leech!
Although he is a level 12, still pretty weak. Overestimated. Alright. As long as I don't run into a beast, I'm good. Can't be bothered with them. Level 8, not bad. Pretty much made it to the objective. Search for the orb. So level 14. Dead. Guess we got the ingredients right here.
Opium is one of the main ingredients of Strickland's medication. Never a good move.
So it was on some skull. What's that? Do not call the public. Alright, that's basically it. We did it. Just have to go and report back. But while we're over here, I guess we go to the funeral. Okay, out of blood. These some rats. back. It's just like the beginning. Beginning of the game. Back it was. Let's go through here. More fighting. Just avoid that. Whenever I see flashes of something I can pick up. Most cases, that is the case.
I cannot enter.
Oh, door's locked. Must be another way in there. Has to be. Hidden hideout, maybe? Oh well. Back at the hospital. Oh no. Wrong way. Oh well, this is we're here. Let's go make this cure these people's problems. Pippa, cold medicine, and headache, anemia. Let's see. Cold. Get some more stamina. Light stamina. Not gonna do that. So, what was the other thing we needed? It was cold. Headache, anemia. We only have cold, and we do have anemia now. Costs a lot, and that's it. Let's go look for Pippa. There she is.
They belong to you now.
Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
Do you need medical help yourself, Nurse?
I'm afraid I've contracted some illness, Dr. Reed.
Not under my watch, Nurse. Take this. You'll feel better.
Thank you, Dr. Reed.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins. It's locked, all right.
Hey, Doc.
You're lucky to be alive, Mr. Cox. I hope you're starting to take better care of yourself.
This place is full of sickness and decay. How could I get better in such a dump?
Consider yourself lucky that I'm treating all of my patients equally. But don't push your luck.
Don't play the innocent with me. I'm sure you have good reasons to act this way. And also weaknesses that can be exploited.
I'll leave you for now, Mr. Cox.
When I get back, I'll have a word with Tom. He's really pissed me off this time.
Well, they're about all that can be treated here, so now we can go rest, level up, but might get in trouble elsewhere, like around here. Who is this? Fatigue. Haven't been back there in a while. I need to go back, treat them. Let's go do that now, actually. Fatigue, and we gotta go to the docks. Fatigue is one of the more common illnesses in this world. So the docks, we need to go down here. Oh yeah, I forgot. Gotta turn in that quest. Investigation.
Is this supposed to be on?
Let's see, whose was that? Waverly or Strickland? Couldn't find Strickland. Over there. Got your ingredients.
Good evening, Dr. Strickland. And good evening to you, Dr. Reed. Can I be of any help?
I located the shop, but it was vandalized, and the owner is missing. All I found was your order.
I was afraid of such bad news. People are so desperate they're ready to burgle a shop for drugs.
That's quite a list you ordered. Opium, sodium hypochlorite. It can't be just headaches you're trying to cure.
This dreadful influenza, of course. I already ran some tests on hopeless cases. Without success, I must admit.
Do you realize you could create a lethal poison without the correct dosage? Then there are the legal ramifications.
Is this not true of any medical substance, Dr. Reed? However, if you would agree to improve it, I'd be glad to accept your help.
As long as you promise to be scrupulous with your experiments, I may try to gather these substances, and even help improve upon the mixture.
That's all I'm asking for, Dr. Reed. That's all I'm asking.
I want to know about these secret tests you run, and if they can save people from this epidemic. Speak to me now, Thoreau.
I know I may sound presumptuous, but I'm just following your steps, Dr. Reed. I'm casting away the shadows of ignorance by daring to face them.
Self-confidence is essential in our line of work, my young colleague, but only if tempered with the correct amount of cynicism.
But you never doubt yourself, Dr. Reed. I've read all your articles and books. You performed the most daring research during the war.
Don't you think we have enough work already? Perhaps now is not the best time to be chasing shadows.
Chasing shadows, really? It's funny those words coming from the only doctor here who has spent more time outside this hospital than you.
I want to know.
I know. But you never.
Don't you think
chasing shadow?
Goodbye, Dr. Strickland.
I can't let Strickland put his patients at risk with opium. Perhaps an adjusted formula will deliver more of a placebo effect.
As for me, what a blundering idiot.
It's locked, all right. Strickland's project could be dangerous. I have a mind to report him to Dr. Ackroyd. The flower's dying. It needs water.
So I can either report the guy or help him out. Decisions. Reporting him to Ackroyd, the guy who hates me. That's quite the conundrum.
I will not let you down, my boy.
Good evening, sir. Doctor.
You always knew the words to
I'm
calm
thinking
the
of
children,
reporting the
Ellen.
guy.
As for
I
me,
think.
what a blundering idiot. My sweet girl reads me like a book. I never could keep anything from her.
You can speak to me. I don't want to speak about it. There's nothing to say.
I will not let you down, my boy.
I'm so tired.
Good evening, Doctor. How is my son doing?
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick.
An idiot.
Good evening, Doctor. How is...
Goodbye, Miss. Good evening, Mr. Goswick.
I'm okay.
I have to go now.
I'm all right. Don't waste your time with me. Good evening,
My
sir.
sweet girl
Doctor.
reads me like a book. I never could keep anything from her.
I might just report the guy.
Don't waste your time.
As for me, what a blundering idiot. I will not let you down, my
I'm quite busy right now, Dr. Reed.
I'm gonna do it.
I know that you're a busy man, but I could use your help and advice.
The great Dr. Reed honors me with a request. What is it exactly?
Dr. Strickland devised an experimental drug for the Spanish flu that he asked me to manufacture.
You know what I think of fringe medical experimentation.
That's exactly why I want you to keep the result, Doctor. I made sure it won't harm anyone, but I'd like you to take care of it.
I see. Put it in my cabinet. I'll give you the key. I'll make sure no one uses this medication by mistake.
I'll do that. Thank you for your help, Dr. Ackroyd.
Thank you for your trust on the matter, Dr. Reed.
So I have his key.
Thank you for your time. It's locked.
Oh, we can finally go in here. Snippets. Strickland. Unlocked.
It's locked.
She's not quite holy herself. Gotta confront her about that.
It's locked, all right. It's locked. Now that Dr. Ackroyd has been warned, he should make good use of this formula.
So, we know something new on Mortimer. That's the info we need.
Seems to be falling apart.
I will not let you
But in the
down,
circumstances, I'm willing to give you the benefit of the doubt.
Good evening, Mr. Goswick.
I'm okay.
Tell me about... Your medical report says you're not affected by the Spanish flu. What do you think of that, Mortimer?
Does it make me happy? Not in the slightest. If it was up to me, I would have left this place long ago. I know I don't belong here.
And why do you think you don't belong here?
I know the staff have more important things to do than look after me. There's plenty of patients here who need their attention.
Freaking emo guy.
I have to go now, sir. But don't hesitate to contact me if you need any help.
I'm all right. Don't waste your time with me.
Good evening, Mr. Goswick. I have to go.
Good evening, sir.
Turn the camera. There you go.
Good evening, Doctor.
Any info on her? Well, here we go.
I've read your son's medical report, Beatrice. It's not the flu or anything life-threatening. What has you so worried?
He was at death's door when he was brought here. I just want him to be better as soon as possible.
He's not out of the woods yet, you know. He might need to stay here longer than expected.
Take care of him then, Dr. Reed. People here only seem to focus on contagious patients. I worry my poor Mortimer will be neglected.
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick.
You always knew the word calm children, Helen.
Good evening, Dr. Strickland. And good evening to you, Dr. Reed. Can I be of any help?
Goodbye, Dr. Strickland.
Now we can get out of here. Did all we can. Kind of want to level up though. Well, I guess I'll keep saving the XP. Let's get closer to where we gotta go. Back over here. Yeah, I need blood. That's one thing I forgot. We're going the wrong way for a second. Sure, it's this way. Oh, there we go.
I have this thirst for blood. This is despicable.
do we... What do the levels look like? 15. Probably should have slept. Let's see what we can do.
Sorry, sir. No admittance. Over! There's one of them burning!
Wasted my blood again. Here we go.
There's one of them!
I'm in trouble. T. He's dead. That's why it's a good thing to have. Stay heal. Serum. Probably should upgrade that. Now that I see the importance. Get more than one of those going. Hold like 3 of them. Sit pretty. So we just took a shortcut around those guys. This works. Alright. Funeral time.
My dear sister, I don't know if I have the strength.
I don't know who did it. But they're bad guys in here. Why would that be the case? Let's go help this widow.
What do you want? Somebody help!
Okay, let's stay in these guys.
What do you want? Somebody help! What do you want?
Okay.
Somebody help!
Come on, jump at me.
What do you want? Somebody help! What do you want? Somebody help! Go on. What do you want?
Kill them all. That actually worked. Hey, miss. Who are you?
Are you all right, miss?
I don't know.
Who were those people? They wanted to kill me. Why?
They've lost their minds in the epidemic. They won't come back for now.
You seem to know a lot about them, sir.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. I'm investigating this disease.
I am Shaoshun. Thank you so much for helping me, Mr. Reed. I must go to the cemetery now. Goodbye.
I would be out of here. She's lost. Don't know anything about her yet. What was in here, though?
It's locked, all right.
Some kind of crypt. Maybe rats. What's she doing in here? There's not much in here, though. Guess she'll run away later. But that's done. Let's heal up. There we go. There we go. Come on. It sucks we can't attack them while we're facing them. Blood back. Still there? Funeral today, what's the point of what's going on? No point in having it. This is a maze.
Since I can't reveal myself to my mother now, I must find a discreet spot to attend the ceremony.
That would be good. There's mice in it. They're out here with these.
I have this thirst for blood.
And here we go.
I am the resurrection and the life. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live.
How are they not attacked?
And whosoever liveth and believeth in me shall never die. We commend unto thy hands of mercy, most merciful Father, the soul of our sister departed, and we commit her body to the ground. Earth to earth, ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
Why kill my Mary and stick her here in this cold, god-awful place?
These are the legal requirements for the epidemic, madam.
Oh, Avery, I feel so tired. Please take me home.
Yes, madam.
They didn't notice us up there. Maybe we could bring her back. Didn't even give him a chance to get away fully.
Oh, Mary. What have I done? If I could only change one thing. One thing. This is a nightmare.
Jonathan, there is nothing you can do but accept it.
What brings you here?
I thought you could use the company. I am so sorry for your loss, Jonathan.
I wish the tears would come. But I'm empty. And I feel a hypocrite.
Let your pain run free, Jonathan. Don't smother it. What you feel is your humanity. Don't be so quick to lose it.
She had been scouring the most dangerous parts of London in search of me. And it led to her death.
Jonathan, don't.
I still hear her last thoughts. They echo in my head. Her mind shattered, and it haunts me.
Jonathan, stop. Listen carefully. You must come to terms with this. You must learn to live with what happened.
I'm learning. Every night is a new lesson. What I am, what I must do to survive. But my sister, she shouldn't have suffered because of my weakness.
Don't you see? You're doing the work of our enemies, feeding your remorse. We are weakest when we grieve, and the guilt blurs our senses.
And so this is why you're here. To warn me. You felt this pain yourself. You too have endured this.
I don't want to lose you, Jonathan. I've lost so many friends. Loved ones I cherished. Pray for Mary's forgiveness, if you must.
You may be right.
Of course. I've stared upon this world for centuries, and time has taught me to deal with guilt, if not erase it.
What should I do then?
St. Mary's Church is not far from here. Go there and make your peace. Find the solace you need.
My lady wants me to confess.
No, Jonathan. It's you who wants to confess, I think.
Tisk. Well, let's go to the church and repent of our sins. Can't be the end to the fight. Might be. There's blood. Rats, so I do need. Well, not right now. Really no citizens out and about. Nice. Got a new hideout. That'll come in handy. Let's see. We didn't need to use any of those. Make some weapons stronger. We need 6. let's level up. I think 3,400 points almost. I think that'll do. That'll do. Okay, let's see how the world affects the world. Disappearances. What does this mean? So who disappeared? Whitechapel. These folks need help. Oh, Dorothy Crane's gone. Yeah, of course we told her to go bye-bye. So now that she's gone, that might affect the health of these people. Eventually. So we have to see what she's up to. Migraine. Don't know about that one yet. Pembroke is good. 98%. Still need this guy, Oswald. They haven't really been affected yet. Okay. Got 2 mesmerized level. So in order to do that, we can get those 2. She has good blood. This is Clay. Yeah, 1,000 eventually. Alright, so overall, the best one is Pembroke. They're good, except for this guy. Let's go there and fix their bronchitis and migraine. Bronchitis and migraine. Okay. Level 13 now. Bronchitis. Migraine. Went up 3 levels. Do we need this? Okay, we have a bronchitis. And okay, we can't do migraine or headaches yet. Now that we can hold 3 of these, we can actually make a bit more. Nice. Okay, I think we're gonna be good. Bunch of bullets. Convince Shun to go back to Whitechapel. So where is she at? Do you want me to go back there? Do I have to go on foot? Gonna get to St. Mary's first. Alright, go around that guy. Leave him be.
And off to church he goes, a newborn seeking divine consent to lick the blood from the soft and pointy crown.
Who are you? Make yourself known.
Newborn, you reek of guilt and pointless compassion. Shed your skin, forget your old weaker self.
What do you want from me?
Ascalon does not approve of lone wolves who bring unwanted eyes to our pastures.
So your name is Ascalon?
Ascalon's will is vampire law. Learn them, abide by them, or I shall return as your judge and jury.
These immortals try my patience with their plans and unsolicited counsel.
So we were threatened by Big Brute Vampire. Boss. I'll let them do the damage. Fire guy. What's that gun here? Yeah, I think we're gonna be fighting down here. So might as well get this guy.
Back deep.
Guy using magic.
Stop, vampire! Leech fight! Watch out!
Using the power of the sun, looks like.
Stay back, beast! Away with you!
This man stunned me with his faith. His crucifix. This is not good news.
Which means there's gonna be more of them. We'll let him be. Back in Whitechapel. Wait a minute, we were here before. This is where, what's her name was? Let's just decide that we chose not to go.
Yes? What is it that you want?
I'm sorry to disturb you at such a late hour.
No worries, my son. I'm still quite awake, having just returned from a funeral.
Yes, I know. I've forgotten what I wanted. I don't know.
May I help you, child? You seem somewhat perturbed.
I haven't the strength to cross the threshold. I wish to pray, to cleanse my soul.
The church is shut by order of the bishop. But I'm still the vicar of St. Mary's, if that is any use to you, my son.
You seem to me a good soul, Vicar. But this is a personal matter.
There are no secrets from God, my son. If your heart needs comfort, consider me your chapel. For I can be as silent as stone.
I've words for one departed. They're not for living ears to hear.
Your eyes burn with rage, yet I see the pain that lies beyond. I am here to lighten the burden of all God's creatures. Whatever you tell me is between us and the Lord.
Very well, priest, as you seem quite adamant.
Open your heart, my son. Tell me what burdens you. With whom do you wish to speak?
Just know, I cared for her.
You seem so troubled by the loss of this girl. What happened to her?
She has been laid to rest. That's all you need to know.
I see. And how are you feeling, my son?
I wish I could forget all this.
I have a final question for you, my son. This is of the utmost importance.
Ask your question, Vicar.
How can this poor soul hear you when you can't even hear yourself and admit your role in this tragedy?
I'm so sorry, Mary. I promise to find who is responsible for all this. I'll put an end to this horror.
You have been heard, my son, and your burden will lighten if your words are sincere. Go in peace now, and live your life in the way she would have wanted.
Whatever happened on this dock is between my sister and I. It does not concern God at all. Good evening, Christina.
Change your mind, Mr. Reed?
What do you know about Nurse Crane and her dispensary?
2 girls I know went to the dispensary yesterday. Nobody has seen them since. I worry about them, in case bad things happen.
Goodbye, miss. Take care of yourself as best you can.
There is something going on in this district. I don't know what. Like a secret or a plot I must reveal.
I'm cheap and I'm clean.
Cheap price, good quality. Come on, take a look. Don't be afraid.
I can't believe I'm doing this. It's locked.
Some kind of event happens here according to the map. So this might be in here. The dispenser. Yeah, this is what happened since we got rid of Crane. Bunch of ravenous sons of guns Miss Dorothy. I'm sorry, Dorothy. It's just too powerful for me right now.
Maybe it's time to see if this Christina is still working nearby. This district seems to get up.
So that's what happens to poor Dorothy. Sorry.
Every year.
We have to deal with that at a later date.
Good evening, my dear colleague.
Have you any news on Nurse Crane and her dispensary?
It seems her dispensary isn't so busy nowadays. A good thing for the Swanborough cordial.
And it's because everything in there is dead.
Goodbye, Miss Swanborough.
When science fails you, this elixir will give you faith again.
Bronchitis and
Best stay back, sir. Die, vermin! The power of the Lord commands.
to deal with you.
Leave, brothers! The beast must die! It's one of them!
Good range.
Remorse and pain are precious when binding you to the earth. You. I remember you.
Big Hulk.
Fear be gone. I would harm no child of my making.
This is your doing. You made me this creature. What are you?
I am the Lord.
The devil.
You are our champion.
You selected me, chose me.
As shall my children yet to come.
What is it you seek?
This age is sickly. An ancient poison, an older rage, brewed in a cauldron newly forged.
This has something to do with the epidemic.
Seek truth, my champion. Defeat the serpent of knowing with iron spur. I've had enough of others making decisions for me, pretending to know how I should feel or behave. So the vampire who made me is some sort of disembodied entity? Or was he just projecting this vision in my mind? Maybe Edgar can help me with this one. The flower's dying. It needs water.
It's locked, all right.
God protect us. You've got a leech in the hospital.
Yes, my hospital. My mission is to heal while you go about warring.
You've set the table for a snake. I wonder why there's venom in your food.
I'm growing tired of your song. You're a woodsman, McCallum, not a doctor. Return to your hunt.
Remember, I've a good nose for machinations. I can flare the scent at a mile. You can't hide from the god.
Leave him, Jonathan. This is sacred ground. Neutral territory. And I just had the carpet cleaned. By the sacred stole, this is very bad news. Bad news indeed.
What happened?
The hospital has been attacked. We have injured patients, at least one dead and several missing. This has spiraled out of control. Even the most infirm are asking to be allowed to return home.
We cannot have the people lose faith in this institution. This hospital is their only hope.
Of course, you're right. But we cannot afford a public scandal. It would ruin us. We must restore order, and quickly.
You mentioned a dead patient. Who is he?
She, Jonathan. She was Miss Harriet Jones. I found her room like a slaughterhouse. Blood everywhere. The duty nurse is taking care of the mess.
So she murdered?
You want to restore peace in the hospital again?
I know this place means something to you. I have noticed how you suppress your appetite when around the staff and patients.
You need to know you can trust me, Edgar.
I do, dear fellow, I do.
Please then, tell me.
Sean Hampton, the man we thought we'd saved at the docks. It seems he was infected after all.
So Hampton became more beast than man.
Exactly. And now Guard of Prewen suspects the hospital of vampire activity. Do you realize what that could mean for us?
Rest assured, I will protect you and your staff.
McCullum is a fanatic. The Guard will stop at nothing. You don't know what they're capable of, Jonathan.
Very well. Since I brought Mr. Hampton here, I will put an end to this.
Chapter 3.
If you don't mind, I have a few questions.
I'd be delighted to help you if I'm able.
I just recently met the strangest creature in Whitechapel. He was immense. He mocked me and accused me of hypocrisy.
Perhaps it was a skull. London's streets are overflowing with them these days.
It was a vampire, all right. But what kind, I'm not sure. He was large and very fast.
If you find anything more about this creature, the Brotherhood would greatly appreciate any information you could spare.
He was observing me with the obvious intent to do me harm. His very presence evoked a palpable sense of menace.
You need to be careful, Jonathan. You've no idea what this creature really is.
I recently tried to enter a church. It has been a very unpleasant experience.
The Brotherhood's research on the matter of faith and vampirism has proved somewhat insubstantial, to say the least.
It's hard to explain in terms of science, that's for sure.
I'm sure Lady Ashbury will have far greater insight into this matter than little old me.
Is this proof that I'm cursed in the eyes of the divine?
The wrath of the Almighty? There's no way of knowing. It could be subconscious guilt, or irrational fear, or deep-seated beliefs.
What exactly happened here while I was absent?
Hampton turned, quite violently as it happened. Lurking about, attacked Miss Jones. To say he created quite a commotion would be an understatement.
Are you sure it was Hampton that killed Miss Jones?
There was blood everywhere, but no body. And you know the state she was in. I fear for what he did with her. Hopefully he just hid the corpse.
How did the Guard of Prewen come to hear of this?
McCullum has spies everywhere. He will jump at any opportunity to disparage the Brotherhood and show his contempt.
Who was that man in your office?
Geoffrey McCullum, actual leader of the Guard of Prewen. I suspect he's the man behind the rebirth of this old and dusty society.
They know I'm here now, don't they?
I can guarantee one thing. The Guard of Prewen would never dare to attack the hospital while I'm in charge here.
What do they hope to achieve?
Their ultimate goal is the eradication of all vampires in the country. They see you as a threat to mankind, Jonathan.
Thank you, Edgar.
That's it. Keep that song playing. It's more upbeat. Back to the sad stuff.
Sean Hampton lives and breathes for the well-being of his flock. There's no other place he would go but the docks. What on earth happened here?
This was the room of that old lady, so she's gone.
Good evening, Miss Howcroft.
I need blood, Doc.
Is there anything you can tell me about the recent commotion here?
Many things can happen under cover of night, Dr. Reed. But I took no part in this massacre.
But did you see or hear anything?
I can't say I did. But the smell of fresh blood almost made me faint, Doctor.
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark. Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
What can you tell me about the recent commotion in the hospital?
Everybody's afraid. Death has always been a frequent visitor. But murder? How can we cope with that?
As a nurse at this hospital, it is your duty to deal with these things as best you can.
Yeah. Until it's my turn to have blood spread all over the walls. I entered the room first, Dr. Reed. I've seen what that monster did to the woman.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins. Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening, Doctor.
What can you tell me about the recent events in the hospital?
That Mr. Hampton killed Miss Jones in her room, then ran away.
And did you see all this?
No. I was working by the tents when it all happened. I only entered the room when they asked me to clean up the blood.
Where is Miss Jones's body?
I don't know. I'd imagine the morgue. It all happened so quickly.
Did you see Sean Hampton leave the hospital?
I think I saw a silhouette exiting the hospital gates after the shouting started. At first I thought it was someone who was just scared, but... well, maybe it was him?
According to the report I read, your unprofessional conduct put a patient in danger, Gwyneth.
That's not true. I know when my patient's life is at risk, and I'm more competent than a lot of doctors that I know. Problem is, I'm a woman.
I don't see what your gender has to do with your abilities, nurse.
Yes, nurse. Because I'll never be a doctor, no matter what my skills. I could make a decision that could save a life, but oh no, that's unbecoming conduct.
Please, Doctor.
Have you heard of Elizabeth Blackwell? She was the first woman listed on the UK Medical Register. Change is slow, but it will come. And you will always have my support.
To have the right to study shouldn't be determined by sex, skin, or wealth. That's all I'm saying.
Goodbye, nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
Oh, Jonathan. I cannot believe my eyes. Poor woman. Butchered by some savage scowl.
Yes, and I'm afraid I'm at least partially responsible. The man, the scowl, I brought him here.
Jonathan, how could you say such a thing?
Forgive me if I feel despondent. For there seems to be no end to the suffering and death that surrounds us.
I'm always here for you, Jonathan.
What do you know of Ascalon? I was threatened by a creature, a vampire in Whitechapel, stating I had to obey the law of conduct.
What more can you tell me about him?
He was bigger than a man. Huge, in fact. He seemed to radiate violence. I thought he was going to tear me apart. Then he vanished.
Fergal, the executioner of Ascalon. You were fortunate he was not after you, but rather out doing his master's bidding.
What is Ascalon?
The Ascalon Club are the most powerful vampires in Britain and exert tremendous influence. Take my advice and stay well away.
I'm gonna try, but they're gonna find me.
I have experienced a certain difficulty when faced with holy symbols or trying to enter religious buildings. Have you?
Now that's quite a question. I don't know why, but yes, it has happened to me.
Aren't you frightened?
Very little scares me, my dear. To be compelled to avoid symbols of faith does not concern me.
Is this a sign? The hand of God in action? Are we repellent unto heaven?
I don't have the answers, Jonathan. But I believe superstition and magic is just fact awaiting the lens of science.
Have you embraced this woman, like the other patient, this Mr. Renfield?
Her name was Amelia. And no, I did not kill her. I vowed a very long time ago that I would never take another life, unless they ask.
Temptation surrounds us. Rich, vital. How can you resist?
Over the years, any pleasure I once gleaned from feeding is long gone. I drink for sustenance. And though I still thirst for more, I restrain myself.
Is there sufficient vitality in the blood of the sick and dying patients?
Yes, Jonathan. The hunger gnaws at me every waking hour. Frankly, I'm starving.
Thank you, my lady. I hope to see you again soon. Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor. Still trying to save lives?
What can you tell me about the recent commotion in the hospital?
Someone killed Miss Jones in her room, and Mr. Hampton's gone missing. Doesn't take a genius to piece it together.
You don't seem shocked by any of this.
Why should I be? Whoever did this must be long gone by now. And besides, he got rid of the old bag.
Goodbye, Milton.
Hey, Doc.
What can you tell me about the recent commotion in the hospital?
All I know is I ain't letting anyone rip my throat out in my sleep. I found myself a nice blade, Doc. I'm ready.
I'll leave you for now, Mr. Cox.
Miss, please, I feel sick. Get over here now.
Good evening, sir. I am Dr. Jonathan Reed of the Pembroke Hospital. May I be of assistance?
Dr. Reed, So it's you who saved my friend Oswald. It's a pleasure to meet you, sir.
And you are?
Newton Blight. Oswald and I recently returned from the war.
Why do you stay here now that Mr. Thatcher's back?
It's complicated. Since the war, Oswald's been really nervous with the idea of entering any hospital. And me, I've got my own issues.
Can you speak about them?
Rats, sir. Even seeing one, they turn me. Just want to run. It's that fear that stopped me from going after Oswald when he left.
What can you tell me about the war, Mr. Blight? If you want to speak about it, of course.
War was... well, you know, sir. The stench of death everywhere. Your mates lying bleeding in the mud. Just praying to make it through and get home. Bloody nightmare.
I fought in France, too. I served as a field surgeon, but it was not uncommon to repel an assault, especially at night.
Yeah. The first time I was wounded, I had to protect the infirmary from hostiles. Twice.
Did you know Oswald Thatcher before the war?
No. We met in the battlefield. I think we're in the same boat to France. We've stuck together ever since.
You are always welcome at the Pembroke Hospital. As a former officer, I'll be honored to welcome a fellow veteran.
I'm not giving up on bringing Oswald back to the hospital. I just need to convince him that he needs some help.
Perhaps he needs to reach that decision by himself.
Could you speak to him? He doesn't usually listen to doctors, but perhaps because you've been through it, you can talk him round.
Do you need medical attention, sir?
Afraid so. In the war, I was always worried about picking up something, getting some infection. Unfortunately, got that fear in London now.
I will see you later. What caused your phobia of rats, Newton?
It happened last year following an artillery attack. I was trapped for 2 days in a hole under 2 dead soldiers. And there were rats.
Go on.
It started eating me as soon as I dozed. Gnawing at my ears, my fingers, lips. I couldn't move. Couldn't call for help.
I see.
No, you don't. You have no idea what it is to wake up buried under bodies. Fucking vermin eating your flesh. Oswald. He found me and saved me.
Goodbye, Mr. Blight.
Oh, what a fucking joke.
Hello again, Mr. Thatcher. Do you feel any better now?
Yes, this neighborhood may stink of dog shit and reek of piss, but to me it smells like the purest mountain air.
Mr. Thatcher, do you have a job?
No. Since I came back from the war, I spent most of my time and energy just trying to forget.
I understand what you mean. I was a soldier too.
No. Nobody can truly understand what I've gone through.
Why were you locked in that sewer? What happened?
I went by the canal after an argument with a friend. Got chased by these fucking wankers and had to barricade myself in, despite my claustrophobia.
Why did you run? What was the reason for your argument?
Newton wanted me to go to a hospital. I can't stand being closed in. Makes me feel like I'm suffocating.
Tell me about your claustrophobia. Has anyone given you an official diagnosis?
That's what the bloody doctor said. But I don't want to go to a hospital to get checked again. I'll deal with it my own way.
Oswald, why did you not go to the Pembroke Hospital to seek medical help?
I don't trust doctors. All they care about is their careers and processes. I won't be locked in any room again by anyone.
Your fear of being trapped is not going to go away by itself. You need professional help.
I've seen enough butchers in white coats to last a lifetime. Hospitals reek of chemicals and death. What I need is fresh air.
Do you want to talk about why you have this fear of being enclosed, Mr. Thatcher?
No, I really don't.
An irrational fear like yours is usually rooted in a specific event. Perhaps it would help to talk about it.
Well, Doctor, take a guess then, if you're so interested in my case.
When I rescued you, you expressed joy at seeing the sky again. So I'm inclined to believe you were trapped or buried somehow. Maybe during the shelling.
Jeez, you're good, Doc. You're really good.
Go on, please. Tell me more about it.
Newton and I were trapped in a circulation tunnel after an artillery attack. We were buried alive for several days without ever knowing if we'd be found.
Oswald, tell me about what happened when you were buried in that tunnel with Newton.
It was more than dark. It was black as pitch. Hours seemed like days, and days like months. Oh, the terror, the shameful thoughts. Lord have mercy.
Shameful thoughts. Tell me about them.
At some point, I don't remember which day, but when I thought we'd never be rescued, that this would be our end, I thought about...
Say it, Mr. Thatcher. If you ever want to heal, you have to say it.
I thought about what I could do to survive. Just for a few more days. I thought about killing Newton. Killing and eating him. The man I fucking love.
A love triangle. Okay. So we know all about him now.
What you endured was terrifying. It would have completely destroyed weaker men.
It did not destroy Newton.
Tell me about your true feelings for Newton.
I love him. I'm not ashamed to say it. He's the best thing that ever happened to me. I can't imagine life without him.
Why should you be ashamed?
I'm not, I said. But Newton sees it differently.
I admire your honesty. It takes courage to stand up to society. The world needs people like you to create change.
Courage is what we needed in the trenches, looking death in the face every day. I speak plain. I speak my mind.
Have you always been this straightforward?
All I know is, before you saved me by the sewer, my only regret was I wouldn't be able to hold or kiss Newton again. I love him, that's all.
Goodbye, Mr. Thatcher. Try to take care of yourself.
understand why you still care.
Force field.
For God's sake. We're still alive and healthy. When I get back, you'll be satisfied with that.
We have no reason to be here. I have not survived being buried in a mass grave for these trivialities.
We are not in the middle of a battlefield anymore. Things are different here. In so many ways.
It's locked, all right. Hello again, Mr. Blight.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. You doing your rounds as usual?
How do you feel about Oswald Thatcher? You are more than friends, aren't you?
I love him. I love Oswald. We knew we wouldn't survive the war without each other. But I am terrified, Doctor.
What frightens you so much?
What if people find out? Oswald says I'm ashamed, but it ain't that. It's more, well, you know, I never thought I'd love a man.
I won't say a word, Mr. Blight. Your secret is safe with me.
I fought for my country and I survived. I saw my comrades die. And now society tells me I'm a criminal for who I love. It makes me so angry.
You and Oswald were buried alive during the war. Tell me about it.
Yeah. It was last summer. A shell hit our trench and we were buried for a week.
Oswald seemed far more traumatized than you by the event.
It wasn't the first time it happened to me. Surviving it again gave me strength. You believe that?
How did you survive for a week?
Luckily for us, there were rations and water in the tunnel. It was an outpost, see? Since then, Oswald's not keen on being inside for too long.
Goodbye, Mr. Blight. Take care of yourself. Hello again.
Good evening, Doc.
Do you need medical attention, sir?
Afraid so. In the war, I was always worried about picking up something, getting some infection. Unfortunately, I've got that fear in London now.
Throughout history, some diseases have done more damage to armies than any weapon created by man. You are wise to be careful.
You're working at the Pembroke Hospital, aren't you? That's a good enough reason for me and Oswald to go there.
Goodbye, Mr. Blight. Take care of yourself.
We fought for England, but England won't fight for us. This city is more peaceful without the bombs, but no less dangerous. We fought for England, but England won't fight for us.
It's a leech! Kill it! Get a taste of this!
Put an end to
Take a breath of this!
I'll kill you!
Leech spotted! Watch out, boys! Send you back to the fucking grave! Bloody monster!
I cannot enter.
Please, sir. Can't let you through.
I the lucky one?
I have this thirst for blood.
Sir, no civilians allowed. You! There's one of them vermin!
Are you all right, Miss Shun?
My name is Xiao Shun. This is the proper way to address someone in my country.
I do apologize, Xiao Shun. Are you all right?
Yes, I am. This is the only place where I can find some kind of serenity.
With
Some
his
way to
skulls
remember
walking
my
around.
dear Matthew.
Doesn't make sense.
Have you recent news of Nurse Crane and her dispensary?
I heard that she used to help the refugees, but unfortunately you don't see her around anymore.
Are you on your own? Do you have any friends or family who you could be with?
I have family and friends, but I need to be here alone. One day maybe I'll go back to them, but not now. I need silence, and I need sadness.
Sadness can be a terrible trap. It can entangle you and weaken your heart if you let it control your thoughts.
Thank you for your sincere words, Dr. Reed. I sense you trying to help me, even if I don't quite understand why.
Tell me how your husband died, Xiao Shun.
Matthew died of the Spanish flu, like so many others. It's a mundane cause of death these days, but for me it meant the end of the world.
At this time, there is so little medical science can do to defeat this terrible epidemic. I'm truly sorry.
The worst thing is not his death, even if it tears me apart. The worst is not to have seen it coming, to have lost him so quickly, even before realizing it.
Did he hide his condition from you?
Matthew was a smiling type, a happy sort. Everything that I am not. Did he laugh at his death to come, or did he not realize what was going to happen? I'll never know.
The Spanish flu may be the worst disease mankind has ever faced. Why are you blaming yourself?
You don't understand. I didn't know he was so sick. I didn't realize the gravity of his situation until it was too late.
As harsh as this sounds, we are all equally vulnerable to this awful disease. It can take the strongest man in just a couple of days.
I never said goodbye to Matthew. We never realized how bad it was. We laughed about it even. He always made me laugh. Now I don't have enough tears to shed.
Are you a doctor yourself? Is this why you feel so guilty for not saving your sick husband?
No, I am not. But I still need to blame someone for Matthew's death. And who else, if not his wife, who did not see it coming?
I'm a physician, one of the best in the country. But I was unable to save my own sister, Mary. She died in my arms.
Why tell me this? Is it supposed to make me feel better?
No. But I felt I should share it with you, since she is buried here too.
May I ask what caused the death of your sister?
You could say she was also killed by a terrible disease. A disease I have sworn to fight and cure, no matter how long it takes.
Thank you for sharing that with me, Dr. Reed.
Vampirism.
Maybe it's time we start to rebuild our lives, you and I.
You realize you can't stay here forever, don't you? Eventually, you'll have to leave the cemetery.
Why? Why should I go? Since this is the only place I can find peace of mind.
To be honest, I don't know. Please forgive me if I've upset you. We must all honor our departed loved ones in our own way.
You sound like you're no stranger to the pain I feel.
Let's just say, I too have a good reason to visit cemeteries at night.
Please accept my condolences for your loss then, Dr. Reed.
You should go home now.
I think you're right. Cemeteries are for the dead, for they need silence too. Thank you for your honesty and your wisdom, Dr. Reed.
Thank you for your company, Xiaoshun. Take care on the way home.
Maybe I'll see you again in Whitechapel. Goodbye for now.
I don't know why you want to go there, though. It's looking bad. Okay. Medical checkups. Good. I don't want to go out there.
Goodbye for now.
Better than hanging out with skulls here.
Matthew. The world has gone completely mad.
Alright, now we can do the main, which is down at the docks. But I might not do that tonight. Let's get back to the hospital and save. Let's get back to the hospital so we can save. Call it a night. I don't want to deal with that.
This is despicable.
I want to get out of here. I forget how to do that. This is way. Yep.
This is not the place for you, sir.
I'm gone. Damn. Back at the spittle. think that'll do me for this session. Got a lot done. Plenty done. Defeated those two guys. Held us up last time. Move the story along. Chapter 3. Bunch of talking, but let's stop.
Another night with the glorious battalion of
Yeah, that's what we do. So we need to get it from here, then I'm done. Plus you'll never flip. So, anything else?
How may I help you, Jonathan?
Thank you, my lady. I hope to see you again soon.
And I say the same thing. Adios.